The quiet space between us. The apartment had never felt this large before. It was a one-bedroom, barely enough for two people who had once believed love could fill any space. Now it echoed, not with sound, but with absence, with the kind of silence that settles in your chest and refuses to leave. Emma stood by the window, her fingers wrapped around a mug of tea that had long gone cold. Outside, the city moved as if nothing had changed. Cars passed. People laughed. Somewhere, music played faintly from an open window across the street. But inside, time had stalled. Liam was sitting at the kitchen table, staring at nothing in particular. His hands were folded, then unfolded, then folded again, like he was rehearsing something he couldn't quite say. "We should talk," he finally said. Emma didn't turn around. They had said those words too many times before. They had lost their meaning somewhere between apologies and promises that never held. "About what?" she asked quietly. Liam let out a breath that sounded heavier than it should have been. "About us." Emma closed her eyes for a moment. Just a moment, as if that might somehow prepare her for what she already knew was coming. "There is no us, Liam," she said, her voice steady, though her grip on the mug tightened. "Not anymore." How it started. It hadn't always been like this. They met 5 years ago in a bookstore neither of them actually liked. Emma was looking for a novel she had seen online. Liam was there because it was raining and he needed somewhere to wait it out. He noticed her first, not because she stood out, but because she looked completely absorbed in what she was doing. There was something calm about her, something grounded. "You're standing in the wrong section," he had said, half smiling. Emma looked up, slightly annoyed. "I think I know what I'm looking for." "Maybe," he shrugged, "but unless your novel is secretly about astrophysics, you might want to try 2 aisles over." She blinked, then glanced at the shelf. "Astrophysics?" She laughed, softly, unexpectedly. "Okay," she admitted. "You might be right." That was all it took. One conversation turned into 2. 2 turned into coffee. Coffee turned into long walks, late-night texts, and the slow, beautiful realization that they had found something rare. Back then, everything felt easy. They talked about everything, dreams, fears, the future. They promised each other things they fully believed they could keep. "I'll never stop choosing you," Liam had said once, his hand wrapped around hers. Emma had smiled. "You better not." When things began to change, it didn't happen all at once. There was no single moment they could point to and say, "This is where it broke." It was smaller than that, quieter. At first it was missed calls, then unanswered messages, then conversations that felt more like obligations than something they wanted. Liam started working longer hours. Emma told herself it was temporary. Emma started spending more time alone. Liam told himself she needed space. They both believed they were doing the right thing. They were both wrong. The distance. "Do you remember the last time we actually talked?" Emma asked, finally turning around. Liam looked up, caught off guard. "We talk all the time," he said. "No," she shook her head. "We don't. Not really." He wanted to argue, to defend himself, but something in her expression stopped him. "When was the last time you asked me how I was and actually waited for the answer?" she continued. Liam opened his mouth, then closed it again. He started, but the words didn't come. Emma nodded, like she expected that. "That's what I thought. Love isn't always enough." "I still love you," Liam said suddenly. The words hung in the air, heavy and fragile. Emma swallowed. I know, she said. And you don't? He asked, his voice breaking just slightly. She hesitated. That was answer enough. I don't know what I feel anymore, she admitted. And that's the problem. Liam stood up, the chair scraping loudly against the floor. So that's it? He asked. 5 years? And you just stop? Emma flinched. You think this is easy for me? She said, her voice rising for the first time. You think I wanted this? Then why? He demanded. Why give up? Because I'm tired, she snapped. The room went still. Emma took a shaky breath. I'm tired of feeling alone when I'm with you, she said, softer now. I'm tired of waiting for things to go back to how they were. I'm tired of loving someone who doesn't see me anymore. I see you, Liam said quickly. No, she shook her head. You see who I used to be, and I see who you used to be. But we're not those people anymore. The truth they avoided Liam sank back into his chair. What happened to us? He asked quietly. Emma looked at him for a long moment. We stopped choosing each other, she said. It sounded simple. It wasn't. Not as often, but it happened. Liam changed too. He learned how to sit with silence instead of running from it. He thought about everything, the mistakes, the missed chances, the moments he wished he could go back to. He couldn't, but he learned from them. One last meeting. Almost a year later, they saw each other again, by accident, a small cafe, a place they used to go together. Emma was already sitting when Liam walked in. They both froze. For a second, it felt like time had folded in on itself. Then Emma smiled, softly. Hey! Hey! He walked over, unsure but drawn to her anyway. Can I sit? He asked. She nodded. Different people. Same memories. They talked. Not like before, but not like strangers either. How have you been? Liam asked. Good, Emma said. Better. He nodded. Yeah, me too. There was a calmness between them now. Not the heavy silence from before, but something lighter, something healed. I used to think we made a mistake, Liam admitted. Emma looked at him. And now? She asked. He smiled just a little. Now I think we did what we had to do. Emma nodded. I think so too. Letting go, finally. They finished their coffee. This time there was no tension, no unfinished conversation, just understanding. I'm glad you're okay, Liam said. I'm glad you are too. They stood up. This goodbye felt different, not like an ending, more like a quiet acceptance. Liam hesitated. Emma? Yeah? You were the best thing that ever happened to me, she smiled. You were exactly what I needed at the time. It wasn't cruel. It was honest. This quiet space between them. They walked in opposite directions. No looking back this time, because they didn't need to. What they had, it mattered. What they lost, it taught them. And what remained was something softer. Not love, not anymore, but not nothing either. Something in between. Final line. Sometimes love doesn't last forever, but the people it shapes you into do.